Welcome back, Mom and Dad, to Saucy Bois, the sauciest show on the internet. Today, we are joined by Szechuan sauce, buffalo sauce, and barbecue sauce again, and I'm your host, Mayo, and we're going to be talking about competitive games. Now, each one of us plays competitive games, but in a different way and with a different attitude. Szechuan, why don't you start off, because I feel like you're the one that's kind of tuned into like a more, I don't want to say niche corner of it, but definitely a less watched corner. What sort of competitive games do you like?
Well, first off, you have to take a shot because it's Sriracha.
Oh no! No, it's Sriracha. You're right. I do have to take a shot. A shot before my wisdom teeth surgery. Let's go. Sorry, Sriracha. That's right.
What do I watch? I watch Smash Brothers. And that's about it.
Which one? Which one?
All of them except
What?
Brawl.
You watch all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were mostly a Melee guy.
Yeah, I didn't know you watched 64.
The combo contest, sure.
The combo.
Oh,
The
okay.
only thing that's worth it.
That's fair.
I cut that out. My street cred.
There it is. No, it's staying in, dude. Do you have a favorite Smash?
Melee.
Melee? Why Melee specifically?
Because I like how that game plays more than the rest of them. Just movement, combos, just how it works in general.
Okay. Do you feel like the graphics though affect like readability or anything like that? Like its age? Do you think that its age kind of affects its competitiveness at all? Or
I think it's one of those things where you give it a decent shot. It's like when you watch one of those shows and then you get people asking the first 2 episodes and then they're like, do I keep watching it? And you tell them, well, if the first 2 didn't hook you,
right,
then it's not for you.
The classic dip and slip, right?
Yeah. So if the game didn't get you from the get-go and you're not willing to put in the effort, then it might not be for you. But I don't think graphics really affects readability.
Okay. What about you, Buffalo? What sort of competitive games do you like?
I enjoy watching and playing first-person shooter competitive games.
Okay.
Like CSGO, Overwatch, Call of Duty.
Do you take any of those games more seriously than the other ones?
Yeah, sometimes. I'll usually try harder playing Overwatch than I do playing Call of Duty or Rainbow Six. It just really depends on typically how invested I am in the competitive scene of the game while I'm playing it. Like I used to take Counter-Strike seriously, and then I stopped watching it for a little bit, and now when I play, I'm not playing it as seriously as I would be playing Overwatch right now.
Okay, so pretty much for you, in order for you to get competitive in a game, there has to be a competitive scene for you to watch, right? Like the game is almost less important than the actual competitive scene with the pros, right?
No, because I started playing a lot of those games before I knew about the competitive scene.
Right.
I was playing Call of Duty for a long time before I knew that competitive Call of Duty was a thing. It fluctuates with time of whether or not I want to try to get good at the game or
okay.
Which when I try to get good, it's like bottom 10% as opposed to bottom 5%,
right?
Because I'm very bad at video games.
I mean, yeah, welcome to the club. So do you prefer? And this is gonna be a weird question, but do you prefer watching or playing competitive games?
I feel like they're 2 different things.
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'd probably say playing.
Okay.
But that's a hard choice to make because I enjoy watching it for different things than playing it.
I guess I'm just thinking about sports, right? And I'm not really tuned into the sports arena, I guess, but you can actually tell me if I'm wrong about this, but don't a lot of people watch like competitive football, but like don't really play it because they can't necessarily?
Yeah, I think some people used to play football, so they like watching it.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
They can't play anymore, so they like to watch the best of the best. I guess some people think, I'm gonna watch. I don't think people think I'm gonna watch football and I'm gonna learn the trick plays and go pro by watching it. Where I feel people do that with video games, and they're just as stupid as someone would be watching football and learning the trick plays of football.
Right. Do you guys think that's kind of one of the big draws that esports has and the competitive games in general, where, you know, if I'm watching soccer, and I look at these guys and I'm like, wow, I have to, not only lose nearly 100 pounds to like remotely do any of this stuff, but I have to train for like years. Whereas, if you watch Overwatch, for instance, you can get some pretty nutty plays either by like sheer luck or whatever it is, but you could just sit there being a fat ass like me. Do you feel like that accessibility kind of helps esports?
It's easy to watch it and go, wow, that was amazing, and I want to try that. But at the same time, I feel like when I'm watching that, I realize there's no way I'd ever pull that off. Like I watched someone do some shot in basketball or something.
What do you think about that, Sriracha?
I thought watching and playing complemented each other, just because you see something like a move in basketball. I don't know about football. I just kind of spin around and run in the direction. But you see something in basketball and you're like, it like motivates you to go and try that shot that Kobe did, or that 2 steps away, or a Euro step or something.
I think it's like the same thing with fighting games. Like you see a pro player like pull off some moves, like some combos, and you want to try it off for yourself. So you hop in online, and then you realize that you're hopelessly outmatched by other people because they've also been watching those moves and stuff. So they've like practiced and perfected those moves, and you're just like, oh fuck, I guess I gotta put more hours into this fucking game.
Yeah.
There's also the aspect of when you watch basketball, you could, he did this cool move, and I'll try that next time. Where when you're watching video games, you could watch someone line up a new smoke that you didn't know in CSGO, or, I'm going to try to launch my Diva Bomb from this angle and surprise people with it. Where I think it's easier to watch and learn esports than it is to watch and learn for basketball, baseball, traditional sports.
Do you ever do that, Sriracha? Do you ever watch like a Melee competition or a Smash?
5 minutes into a Melee tournament, I have Melee up on a different screen and a controller in my hands.
It's true. Because I used to watch a lot of Mortal Kombat tournaments, and I got so hyped from because I just wanted to try those moves out, and I just wanted to be as good as them. But then I realized, no way, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a vicious cycle? That's what that is.
A healthy lifestyle? not being diluted? I don't know. I wouldn't know from experience. So then, buffalo or barbecue sauce. What competitive games? Well, no, because I didn't say his name. What competitive games do you like?
I used to watch a lot of Mortal Kombat, like Mortal Kombat 9 specifically, because that was the game that really got me into watching competitive fighting games. But I like also watching the Overwatch League with you guys, because there's always like hype moments, and I like to get to know the teams and their personalities and stuff like that when watching, because it's always fun to see like the best teams going up against each other, like the LA Gladiators and the LA Valiant. Hype is fucking
my
shit.
blood pressure.
Oh my god, it's the fucking best watching those guys play, because they're so good, and it's just like you want to be that good too, but at the same time you're kind of glad that they're the ones playing the game and you're just watching them play. Yeah. Because I bet it's so stressful being on stage and then also trying to win the game. It must be so stressful being a part of that, the league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, like watching a competitive game is nice because actually I honestly don't think I'd ever want to be that good, because then all of a sudden I can't just like hop into a low elo match in Overwatch and pull out my Hanzo and like do some really stupid stuff. Once you're really good, all of a sudden like you can't just screw around, I feel like, because everyone will just punish you super hard. And I feel that way about Smash kind of, because I'm not very good, and then I could just whip out Ganondorf or something and just screw around and still get some sort of results. But I feel like once I get really good, or if I get really good, like competitive level, then all of a sudden I can still trash on people with Ganondorf, but it just won't be as funny, or it won't be as fun, I guess. I don't know. I guess I'm saying I like crawling around in the mud of silver and bronze. Something else I wanted to ask you guys about competitive games, and this gets brought up every single time, and it's like hard to avoid, but how do you guys feel about balance? Like balancing shit? And I know that's like a super wide question, but I guess let's start with, do you guys feel that a game should be like perfectly balanced in a hypothetical scenario, or do you like it when shit is broken?
Well, I think that there's at different skill levels, it's balanced differently, because some of the heroes or abilities that are hard to use at a lower rank, the best people at the game know how to use it, and so it'll be more viable at a higher level than it is at a lower level. So it's up to, I guess, the developer to decide at some point, are we balancing this for like the average players, or are we balancing this for the highest level of players?
It used to be back in the day that when you released a game, like that was it. Like you couldn't update it or anything.
Yeah.
You know, you could. So I'm like thinking of like GoldenEye, and in GoldenEye there was a character that was called Oddshot, I think.
Oddshot?
Yeah.
Oddjob.
Oddjob. It was Oddjob. Yeah, and he was like the shortest one in the entire roster, and players had to like maneuver and like just somehow get this little shit and kill him. So I feel like it's hard to. It's not hard to pull off balancing, you know, but I think it makes the game more fun when like something is like kind of broken, because then the players kind of figure out a way to deal with the broken issues. But I don't know, it's just me.
So, like, are you talking about the mechanics of the game are broken, or just certain characters are placed above others from the developers?
Right. I mean, I think those are kind of hand in hand, right? Like, for instance, in Brawl, like a Super Smash Brawl, Meta Knight was just so broken. His entire kit was so broken that like the entire meta was dependent on who can beat him, right? So I don't know. In my opinion, I think having some broken things adds character to a game, kind of makes it a little bit more unique. Like, oh, this is the one sniper rifle, and then everyone kind of, builds their entire tactics around getting this one sniper rifle or whatever, right? But I think that gets more complicated when you start throwing money in the equation, because then people are like, oh, well, we should have won this tournament, but this game is broken. So I don't know.
Well, I guess it comes down to if it's down to money, then you want the game to be perfectly balanced for all the players so that they all have like an equal opportunity to win that money. And if it's just like a fun like party game like Smash, I think you can allow a few broken characters so that it's a little bit more fun, you know?
Yeah, I guess my mind just always goes back to Overwatch, where it's like constantly nerfing, constantly buffing, like this weird, what's it called? Like a weird back and forth, right? And I think what Buffalo Sauce brought up about who do you balance for is like a really good question, because I have no idea, right? Because I'm guessing Overwatch specifically makes most of their money off of just random scrubs like us, right?
Yeah, probably.
So you would think that they would want to balance it for random scrubs like us. But then you realize like random scrubs like us are trying to get better, so we kind of care more about if it's balanced for the pros. It's like a weird love triangle where it's really just two people. Wait, no, they didn't make any sense. Give me that shot.
The love line.
The love line, yeah, the love line.
Love line.
But yeah, did you guys ever, when you were like younger, wish you could go pro?
Not really, because I liked playing the games just to have fun. I never really thought that video games could like actually be like a monetary fulfillment, you know? I just always played them to relax or just to enjoy them. But that's just me, so I don't know about you guys.
Well, when I first found out that esports were a thing and that people were making money playing video games, I was already around the same age that everybody that was playing was. So
yeah.
I'm like, well, I guess being 16 years old is your prime, and I'm already past that, so I'm just going to keep playing it to have fun, and I'm also in silver, so there's no shot.
16 is like esports is what, like 45 or something?
It's weird. It wasn't as accessible back in the day for us when we were young, but nowadays it's more accessible, but like it's like we're late to the party to like starting to play them.
I mean, wasn't there like an esports player in the Overwatch League who was like not allowed to play because he was underage?
Yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the best Overwatch players in the world are under 18, and in the Overwatch League you have to be 18 to play. So they set a cutoff date, and people considered this guy Flower to be one of the best players in the world, and he did not get to play because his birthday was a couple days after the cutoff date, and so he's going to, I guess, make his debut in Season 2, but now I guess people have forgotten about him because people haven't forgotten about him, but he's not as hyped as he would have been if he was in the first season.
Yeah. It's just like what Sriracha was saying. It's just the accessibility. Because back in the day, like, we were, about whatever his age was.
Mhm.
And that stuff never, like, was open or accessible to us,
Yeah.
But why does age matter so much? It's not like we have like crippling arthritis or anything.
That's what we'd want to sacrifice now. It's
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
like, yeah.
Time.
We're too
What's the
we're
barrier
too
of
balls
entry
deep
now?
into life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That makes sense, I guess.
I mean, when you're like...
I don't have time to practice 8 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly. When you're 15 and in high school, you just, go home and just play Overwatch or whatever. But with us, we're going, like, our jobs or school.
Do you think those kids went? To, I mean, you could probably just look this up, but do you think they actually like went to high school still, or do you think they dropped out for like a year or two?
A lot of them. Well, at least for Call of Duty, because I was following that when I was in high school. A lot of the players were in high school and college. Players were missing events because they had to take their finals and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's not like they sacrificed everything. Like they were still going to.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Some people quit their jobs. Some people put their college on hold. There were a couple people who stopped going to college and then quit to go back to college.
Mm-hmm.
Melee's a top player, has an engineering degree.
Whoa.
And I think he's working still with this company.
Damn. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like there's a... This is a different topic now, I guess, but do you guys feel like there's a specific game genre that is best suited for like a competitive scene?
I think the Overwatch way of just selecting champions and escorting payloads and stuff like that, I think that's one of the best ways, but I think also just regularly FPS is probably the way to go.
That's what, yeah. I should have been more specific. I meant like FPS versus strategy versus. My bad. But I mean that's.
I think like the FPS and fighting games are like the most geared towards competitive play.
Right, but what's League? Because League was killing it for the longest time.
League's a MOBA technically.
Yeah.
I kind of consider MOBAs to fall into the RTS, like real-time strategy where you just have one unit. Because, I mean, when you look at an RTS, right, it's still... A lot of it's unit placement, a lot of it is economy. I mean, I guess there's technically, like, base building and shit, which you don't have in League, but... Yeah, a lot of it's just, like, micromanaging units and then also macro-managing your economy, which you could say in League is, like, your build. That was going to be my answer. I think RTSs are like one of the best ways. It's pretty much like chess, right? Only it's not turn-based. The only difference there is that it's not as fun to watch, I feel like.
Yeah, I think FPS and fighting games are like
It's the easiest to be able to get into and understand what's going on. Because I started watching Dota when my favorite team got a Dota team, and there was just spinning ballerina of death that would chase people and spin around. I'm like, I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And then like 15 green people would come and start whacking things, and I couldn't follow what was going on, but it was just extremely hard to get into without having played it before.
Well, don't you think people can say the same thing about Overwatch, where it's like, why is there a giant monkey jumping around? Or like, the fuck is that ninja? Like, what?
Overwatch is in a weird spot where it is an FPS, but they take a lot of elements of MOBAs.
Mm-hmm.
I think CSGO is probably one of the easiest to just sit down and watch and go, oh, this makes sense. There's two teams and they're going to A or B, and I think it's probably one of the easiest to get into, besides maybe fighting games where it's just, oh, these two dudes are killing each other. They're like flipping and shit, and that one just got his head ripped off, so I guess he loses. So
I mean, even there, it depends on the fighting game, because people say Melee is too hard to follow.
Yeah, I remember we were playing Smash on my couch, and my uncle walks by, and he's like, you guys watching a movie? I'm like, no, this is a game. And he's like, what's happening? Is this like... He couldn't wrap his mind around the fact that we were two separate characters that were beating on each other. Because I don't remember who you were playing, but like, imagine if it's King Dedede, right?
Yeah.
You're like, the fuck am I looking at? It's not like a traditional dude in like a robe with a black a red headband or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see that. For my money, and this is going to be like the dumbest like 400 IQ answer of all time, most pretentious shit ever, but I honestly think chess is like top tier competitive, right? And I think because RTS is so close to chess, because it's got the strategy, it's got the timing, it's got all that stuff, I think that's like the most competitive you could possibly be. Like if you want to be like, hey, I want to trash on you and like definitive want to destroy you, challenge them to an RTS, and then bet your house or whatever. But I don't know, because for me FPSs like they require so much twitch response and a lot less strategy, in my opinion, compared to RTSs, that I find them more fun, but like in terms of their competitive nature, or I guess their competitive viability, I don't know what the word is.
You said RTS, but I know you meant RPS. Rock, paper, scissors, baby.
Rock, paper, scissors, the ultimate competitive. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just straight mind games. You're right. But yeah, that's going to round out episode 2, unless someone else has anything to add.
We're all good here.
Yep.
This sauce has been stewing a little too long. I'm sure Mom and Dad are getting kind of tired at this point. Probably want to go to bed.
Real quick, barbecue. Why is Sonic Fox your favorite player?
Oh,
here we go.
He's the best because he goes on stage and he has that the persona. That's why.
No.
The persona. That's why.
I should have cut it, guys. Persona 6.
I don't like him at all.
Yeah. All right. Join us next time when we'll see which sauces are going to be added to the pot, what sort of disgusting stew we're going to make, and what topics we're going to talk about. See you guys next time.